Djurgården is a lush, expansive island park in the heart of Stockholm, serving as a peaceful retreat and a hub for Sweden's most famous cultural attractions. Historically a royal hunting ground, it is now part of a Royal National City Park, welcoming over 10 million visitors annually for its mix of forests, meadows, and world-class museums. The island is home to a high concentration of top attractions including Vasa Museum, Skansen, Gröna Lund, ABBA the Museum, and Rosendal Palace and Gardens. Djurgården offers vast green spaces for outdoor activities including Djurgården Loop, waterfront views, and picnic spots. In this vlog, I'll be visiting the top attractions in Djurgården. Djurgården's history spans over 500 years, evolving from strictly guarded royal hunting estate into the world's first national city park. Its name literally translates to the animal garden, reflecting its origins as a fenced game park. The Swedish crown held the rights to the island that Djurgården sits on since 1452. Initially sparsely populated grazing land, it was acquired by King Carl Knutson in the 15th century, then known as Walman's Island. In 1579, King Johan III formally established it as a hunting retreat to keep deer, reindeer, and elk. In 1581, King Johan III transformed it into a royal hunting park, importing reindeer and deer to create a controlled wildlife enclosure. For centuries, the island was largely closed to the general public, serving as a private weekend hideaway for royals. In the 17th and 18th century, the southern shore developed into a maritime hub with private shipyards, some of which are still in operation today. Queen Christina used Djurgården for ballets and fireworks, turning it into a ceremonial stage. Charles XI enclosed the park, reinforcing its status as a private royal hunting ground. Under Gustav III, the island pivoted towards public amusement, complete with taverns, gatherings, and early leisure culture flourished. The 1800s marked a major shift as the Bernadotte dynasty began transforming the wild hunting grounds into a landscaped pleasure park. King Johan XIV tore down fences and built walkways to encourage public use. He also built Rosendal Palace as a summer retreat. This century was full of true architectural and cultural explosion, with key developments such as Rosendal Palace, the construction of elegant villas such as Parkenden, Sureshov, Hacha, and Uden, and the founding of iconic institutions such as Skansen, the world's first open-air museum, Gröna Lund, Stockholm's historic amusement park, Nordiska Museet, the National Museum of Cultural History, and Circus, an entertainment venue. In 1897, Stockholm's World's Fair was held on Djurgården, leaving behind structures such as the Djurgårdsbron Bridge. In the 20th century, Djurgården solidified its status as Sweden's premier museum district. In 1961, the 17th century warship Vasa was raised from the harbor floor, leading to the creation of the Vasa Museum, Scandinavia's most visited museum. During this century, Djurgården became Sweden's favorite recreation area, celebrated by cultural figures like Carl Michael Bellman. In 1995, Djurgården became part of the world's first national city park, managed by the Royal Djurgården Administration, preserving biodiversity, heritage, and public access. Today, it attracts more than 10 million annual visitors, making it Scandinavia's most visited cultural district. The most popular ways to get to Djurgården are by ferry, tram, or a scenic walk along the waterfront. Since the island is integrated into Stockholm's public transit system, SL, you can use standard SL tickets or contactless card for most of these options. Djurgården Ferry Line 82 departs from Slussen near Gamla Stan year-round. The trip takes around 8 to 10 minutes and offers great views of the harbor. Ferry Line 80 departs from Nybroplan and is also included in the SL system. Taking the ferry from Slussen or Nybroplan over to Djurgården is a really nice scenic way to get over to Djurgården Island. Tram Line 7 is the most direct public transit option from the city core. It starts from T-Centralen near the central station, or Normalstrog, and stops at major attractions like the Vasa Museum, Skansen, and Gröna Lund. The trams run approximately every 10 to 15 minutes. Djurgården hosts a high concentration of Stockholm's popular sites, including the Vasa Museum, Skansen, ABBA the Museum, the Viking Museum, Nordiska Museet, Gröna Lund, and Rosendal's Palace and Gardens. The Vasa Museum features the world's only preserved 17th century warship. Skansen is the oldest open-air museum in the world. ABBA the Museum is an interactive journey through the career of the legendary pop group. The Viking Museum offers a deep dive into Viking history. Nordiska Museet explores Swedish and Nordic culture from the 16th century to the present. Gröna Lund is a historic waterfront amusement park. And Rosendal's Palace and Gardens is a very popular palace and gardens, known for its garden and cafe as well as its palace, where the royals live. Much of the island is part of the Royal National City Park, offering vast green spaces, including walking and cycling, Rosendal's Garden, Gröna Lund, and Royal Canal tours. A 5.7-mile loop offers scenic waterfront and woodland trails. The Royal Walks app provides guided routes with themes like art and history. Rosendal's Garden is a beautiful public garden with an organic cafe, orchard, and rose garden, famous for its fika under apple trees. 1 hour boat cruise depart from the city center and circle the island for unique views from the water. Djurgården is widely considered a must-see destination in Stockholm, frequently described by TripAdvisor travelers as a peaceful green oasis that combines world-class museums with scenic nature. It is part of the Royal National City Park and offers a mix of history, culture, and family-friendly activities. Plan your trip to Djurgården using TripAdvisor. Almana Grand is one of Djurgården's small but symbolically important gateway streets, a short historic lane right at the island's western entrance, now best known for its restaurant scene and its role as a connector between major attractions like Gröna Lund, ABBA the Museum, and the ferry docks. Almana Grand is a historic street on western Djurgården, functioning as a micro-hub where ferries, trams, museums, and restaurants converge. It's not long, but it's strategically planned, the kind of street that acts as a threshold into the island's cultural core. It sits between the Djurgården ferry terminal, Gröna Lund, and ABBA the Museum, historically part of the early urbanization of western Djurgården as it shifted from royal land to public cultural district. Almana Grand sits inside a dense cultural cluster, a perfect example of Djurgården's identity as a rural cultural recreational hybrid. Within a 5 to 10 minute walk are Vasa Museum, Rosendal Palace, Rosendal's Trädgård, and Tekniska Museet. This makes the street a transit hinge between royal heritage, cultural institutions, and leisure. Gröna Lund is Sweden's oldest amusement park, founded in 1883 and one of the most iconic landmarks in Djurgården. It blends historic charm, tight urban designs, and modern thrill rides in a way no other Scandinavian park does. Its waterfront setting makes it visible from almost anywhere in central Stockholm. The site was used for amusement parks as early as the 18th century. Gröna Lund was officially opened on August 3, 1883, when German entrepreneur Jacob Schulthess rented the land to build carousels and other amusements. The Schulthess family operated the park for more than a century until 2001. Lund is famous for its tight footprint. It sits in a 3.8 hectare of space, unusually small for a major amusement park. It only has 30 total attractions, including 7 roller coasters, but has drawn 1.67 million visitors. Because its limited space, the park builds upwards, creating a skyline of towers, coasters, and neon visible across Stockholm's harbor. Lund is as much a concert venue as an amusement park. It hosts 50 plus live concerts every summer. Legendary performers have played here, including ABBA and Bob Marley. This dual identity, rides and music, makes it a cultural institution for Stockholmers. A few highlights from the current lineup include roller coasters, family attractions, and food. There are 7 total roller coasters, including classic wooden and modern steel coasters. It's a place to take the kids, complete with bumper cars, Ferris wheels, fun houses, and the Tunnel of Love. There are dozens of restaurants and stalls, from burgers and langos to vegan options. Lund is unique because it's a city amusement park woven into Stockholm's urban fabric. Its waterfront location creates a dramatic visual identity. It attracts a broad demographic, including families, teen, young adults, and corporate groups. It balances heritage and innovation, preserving old attractions while adding new ones. Skansen is the world's oldest open-air museum and zoo, located on the island of Djurgården in Stockholm. Founded in 1891, it offers a miniature Sweden featuring over 150 historic buildings transported from across the country to showcase 5 centuries of Swedish history and culture. Skansen was founded on October 11, 1891 by Arthur Hazelius in Djurgården as an open-air museum and Nordic zoo. It has 150 plus historic buildings from across Sweden and attracts over 1.3 million annual visitors. Skansen was created to preserve Sweden's disappearing rural culture during rapid industrialization. It later became the model for open-air museums across Europe and North America. Skansen is essentially Sweden in miniature, spanning centuries of architecture, culture, and daily life. Historic environments, farmsteads from Dalarna, Hälsingland, and Småland, 18th and 19th century town quarters, blacksmiths, bakery, glassblower, and tannery, Seglora Church from 1729, manor houses and crofts, and costumed interpreters reenact daily life, baking, crafting, farming, making it a fully immersive experience. In the late 19th century, Sweden's traditional rural life was vanishing. Hazelius feared that customs, crafts, and architecture would not be lost forever. So he traveled across Sweden, purchased around 150 buildings, including farms, workshops, manors, and churches, had them dismantled and shipped to Djurgården, reconstructed them to form a living Swedish village. Only 3 buildings are replicas, the rest are originals. Key highlights and activities to do in Skansen include explore the historic buildings, visit the Nordic Zoo and Aquarium, explore original homes, farmsteads, and workshops, including a 19th century town quarter where artisans demonstrate traditional glass blowing and weaving, The Nordic Zoo is home to native Scandinavian wildlife such as brown bears, moose, reindeer, lynx, and wolves. The aquarium features exotic animals such as lemurs and crocodiles requires a separate fee. The Skansen Zoo, or Nordic Zoo, features animals such as brown bears, moose, lynx, wolves, reindeer, and Baltic gray seals, plus Swedish domestic breeds and an aquarium with exotic species. The enclosures are designed to mimic natural habitats. Skansen is the national stage for Swedish holidays, including Midsummer, complete with folk dancing and maypole, Walpurgis Night, Lucia concerts, and a Christmas market running annually since 1903. These events make Skansen a living cultural calendar. Skansen is open year-round. Full-day experience is recommended as the site is quite large. Skansen is typically open daily from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekdays and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekdays during March. You can get to Skansen via Tram 7, Bus 67, or Djurgården Ferry. Admission tickets to Skansen is about 240 SEK or around 23 USD for adults and 200 SEK for seniors and students, around 19 USD. Admission for children is free, but a free ticket must be booked in advance. ABBA the Museum is one of Djurgården's signature attractions, an immersive, interactive experience where you don't just see ABBA's history, you step into it. You sing, dance, mix music, try on digital costumes, and even perform on stage with the band's holograms. It's consistently ranked among Stockholm's top museums. ABBA the Museum is an interactive music museum and also has the Swedish Music Hall of Fame inside. Inside the museum, you become the 5th member of ABBA, where you can sing, dance, mix tracks, and try on digital costumes. See collections including original stage outfits, gold records and awards, instruments, archive footage and interviews, personal items from the band members' own individual collections. Perform on stage with ABBA, stand on stage and sing with the digital avatars of the band. Try on the iconic costumes digitally. The tiger tunic, the cat dress, the glam rock boots are all projected onto you in real time. Mix music in the Polar Studio, recreate harmonies, isolate tracks, and experiment with ABBA's production style. Explore the band's story, starting with Eurovision in 1974, their global tours, personal stories, and their creative process behind the hits. See original artifacts, including stage outfits, instruments, awards, and handwritten notes. The ABBA Museum acts as Djurgården's pop culture anchor, bridging Sweden's global music identity with Djurgården's museum cluster. Pre-booking tickets is recommended. Visitors typically spend around 1 to 2 hours at the museum. Visit the world's first open-air museum and see as many as 150 historically interesting houses and farmsteads. Learn about the living conditions of the Swedish people between the 16th century and the first half of the 20th century. Get your admission tickets to Skansen using GetYourGuide. Get an entry ticket to discover ABBA the Museum, an interactive experience with a pre-booked time slot. Try on virtual costumes, sing, play quizzes, mix original music, and get up on stage with ABBA. Get your museum entrance ticket through GetYourGuide. Djurgården has some of the most beautiful and varied waterfront areas in all of Stockholm, from ceremonial promenades to quiet, forested shorelines and lively ferry hubs. Djurgården's Brunnsviken waterfront is the most famous waterfront loop on Djurgården, offering a full 5-kilometer circuit of the water, forests, and cultural landmarks. This includes tree-lined promenades and bike paths, views towards Nordiska Museet, Vasa Museum, and Skeppsholmen, popular for running, walking, and picnics, and connects directly to the Royal National City Park. It is the island's central spine of nature and culture. The western waterfront, including Almana Grand, Grunelund, and ABBA Museum, is the busiest waterfront zone where ferries arrive and attractions cluster. Included in this sector are the Djurgården Ferry Terminal, waterfront views towards Skeppsholmen and Gammelstad, restaurants and terraces along the water, and immediate access to Grunelund, ABBA the Museum, Liljeflex, and Junibacka. It is the ceremonial gateway into Djurgården from central Stockholm. Rosendal and Djurgårdens Brunn Canal waterfront is south of the main museums, and the waterfront becomes more pastoral. This stretch includes Rosendal's Trädgårds, gardens, orchards, biodynamic farming, Rosendal Palace nearby, calm canal side walking paths, bridges, and small docks along the Djurgårdens Brunn Canal. This is the Royal Garden Zone, serene, elegant, and deeply tied to Djurgården's historic landscape. Djurgården is literally known as Stockholm's Green Island, and the sources confirm that a large portion of the island is pure nature, preserved as part of the Royal National City Park. Rosendal's garden is Djurgården's horizontal heart, with biodynamic gardens, orchards, flower fields, and greenhouses. Outdoor cafe under apple trees, seasonal food at herbarium, pick your own flowers, garden workshops, and quiet picnic lawns. Cultivate nature and royal garden heritage. It's best for slow afternoons, garden walks, and photography. Rosendal Palace Park is a wide, elegant park surrounding the 19th century palace, with open lawns perfect for picnics, reading, or casual sport. Flower beds and historic landscaping are part of the Royal Walks Trail network. It's best for relaxed picnics, sunbathing, and ceremonial feeling walks. Djurgården's Bronsviken waterfront green zone is a full loop of water and greenery, with tree-lined paths, forest edges, and lawns. There are views of museums and the city skyline, and is one of Stockholm's most popular running circuits. Best for running, long walks, and waterfront picnics. Gallerparken is a central green space between major museums, a large play area with open lawns for families right next to the Vasa Museum, Nordiska and Junibacken. Best for families relaxing between attractions. The Marsstudi Park is one of Stockholm's most beautiful waterfront parks, with sculptures throughout the gardens, sweeping views toward the archipelago. It's free to enter, best for scenic walks, sculpture viewing, and sunset photography. Stockholm is a city of islands, and the Royal Djurgarden sightseeing cruise offers an idyllic way to explore its postcard-worthy waterways. Cruise through the city center, listen to an audio guide, and look out for highlights from the Södermalm neighborhood and the leafy island of Djurgården to the Vasa Museum and beyond. Book the cruise that best fits your schedule using Viator. Stockholm has two wreck museums located very close to. Stockholm actually has two wreck museums on Djurgården Island. Most visitors refer to the world-famous Vasa Museum, which houses a massive intact 17th century warship. However, there is also a newer wreck museum of wrecks, which focuses on the wider history of shipwrecks in the Baltic Sea using digital technology. If you plan to visit both of these museums, I suggest purchasing the Vasa and Vrak combo ticket for approximately 310 SEK, around 30 USD. It is valid for 72 hours, so you won't have to visit both on the same day. The museums are open daily from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Wednesday, it's open until 8 p.m. Located along the waterfront between Vasa Museum and Groenland, a cutting-edge museum dedicated to the shipwrecks and underwater heritage of the Baltic Sea. It uses virtual reality, holograms, and immersive film, and digital reconstructions to bring centuries of maritime history to life. Opened in September 2021, the Wreck Museum is dedicated to protecting and sharing the cultural heritage of the Baltic Sea, home to the hundreds of remarkably preserved wrecks. Through exhibits on maritime history and underwater archaeology, the museum brings these time capsules to life, illuminating centuries of trade, war, and seafaring culture in Northern Europe. Exhibits include virtual dives, 3D scanned, and the story of Rosandi Man 1660. The museum offers a modern interactive approach to history. Guests can experience virtual dives around wrecks, examine 3D scanned artifacts, and explore digital reconstructions through holograms. By combining archaeological research with immersive technology, Vrak creates a powerful visitor experience that appeals to families, students, and history enthusiasts alike. Key highlights and exhibits in the Vrak Museum include Vikings Before Vikings, the Razandi Man, Sea of Memories, and VR interactive dives. Vikings Before Vikings is a major exhibition featuring the remarkable find of two 1,300-year-old buried ships from Salmi, Estonia, including original artifacts and interactive rowing experience. The Razandi Man is an immersive gallery detailing the 1660 sinking. It features a scale model floor mural of the wreck and holograms of salvaged items. Sea of Memories is an underwater cinematic experience that plunges visitors into the depths of the Baltic Sea to uncover its secrets. Inside the museum, you'll experience immersive exhibits on digital wrecks, underwater timelines, VR-style projections, and holographic storytelling, interactive exploration of wrecks via maps or timeline, explore naval history from the 1400s to 1800s, listen to a free audio guide on your phone at your own pace. Enjoy fresh sourdough, sandwiches, pastries, and coffee from the outdoor seating with harbor views at the Vrak Cafe and Bar. The museum shop has books, prints, and maritime-inspired design items. The best time to visit Vrak is on Monday and Thursday mornings. The Vasa Museum is home to the Vasa, the world's only almost fully intact 17th century warship. The ship famously sank on its maiden voyage in 1628, just 1,300 meters from shore, and was salvaged 333 years later in 1961. Today, it is one of Scandinavia's most visited museums. The Vasa Museum on Djurgården displays the nearly fully intact 1628 warship Vasa, 98% original, making it one of the most extraordinary maritime artifacts on Earth. It's one of the most visited museums in Scandinavia, with over 1.3 million visitors in 2024. The Vasa warship is enormous for its era, about 69 meters long, 11.7 meters wide, and 52.5 meters tall from the keel to masthead, making it one of the most powerfully armed and visually imposing ships of the 17th century. From the Vasa Museum's technical documentation, the foremast is 47.0 meters, main mast is 52.4 meters, and basin mast is 39.4 meters. These heights are partly reconstructed because the upper mast sections did not survive. The Vasa had 7 levels with the deck heights that varied along the hull. One of the reasons stability was compromised. The upper gun deck was 1.7 meters at the bow, 1.9 meters midship, and 1.85 meters at the stern. The lower gun deck is between 1.6 to 1.7 meters. The orlop deck is 1.1 to 1.4 meters, and the hold is 1.8 to 2.9 meters. These cramped vertical dimensions reflect 17th century naval architecture and the ship's overloaded upper structure. The Vasa's narrow beam, combined with its very tall superstructure and heavy upper decks, created a dangerously high center of gravity. This is the core engineering reason it capsized minutes into its maiden voyage in 1628. The design, Hendrik Hyberson, was an experienced and well-respected master shipwright who had built a number of successful warships for the Swedish crown, but the Vasa was something new for him in its size and armament, and he had no way to calculate a proposed ship's performance in advance. The mathematics we now use to predict stability and wind were more than a century in the future, so shipwrights had to base their design on experience. In this environment, it was more common that new ships, especially large warships like Vasa, were unstable when first put in service. Such ships were said to be tender or cranked, and there were accepted methods for fixing the problem. Armament could be revised, extra planking could be added at the waterline, or the ship could be reduced in height by removing a deck. Unfortunately for Vasa, she was so cranked that she did not survive long enough to be improved. On August 10th, 1628, the Vasa set sail with great ceremony, but the ship was too heavy, the wind pushed it over, and water entered through the open gun ports. It sank within minutes, only a short distance from the harbor. This failure became one of the most famous naval engineering disasters in European history. Located in 1956 by marine technician Anders Franzen. On Monday, April 24th, 1961, thousands of people crowded the shores around Kastelholmviken, much as they had lined the shore almost 333 years ago. Radio, television, and newspaper reporters filled special media boats at the center of the action, and Swedish television broadcast live to all of Europe. At 9:03, when the top of a few eroded frames peeped out of the water, soon the carved heads of 4 warriors emerged, followed by the outline of the whole ship at last. Even today, still many remember where they were when Vasa rose from the deep. Treated with polyphenol glycol for decades to stabilize the wood, the ship is now preserved in a controlled environment inside a purpose-built museum with stylized mast markings marking its original height. Vasa was the war machine of its time. Her cannons could fire 250 kilometers of ammunition into a single broadside, and when the heavy iron shot left the muzzles, they traveled near the speed of sound. For a brief few minutes, she was the most powerfully armed ship in the Baltic, if not the world, a floating fortress to be feared from Revel to Copenhagen. Vasa carried 64 cannons when she set off on her maiden voyage, but 8 of the gun ports were empty. The Navy Yard built a ship faster than the Royal Gun Foundry cast could its guns. The main ornament was 48 24-pounders, powerful bronze cannons that fired round shots weighing 10 kilometers each. The upper deck carried smaller cannons, each 3-pounders and 6 Stormsteckens, short, thin-walled guns for firing anti-personnel ammunition at short range. Key highlights of the Vasa Museum include The key highlights of the museum include the ship, life on board, and face-to-face. 98% of the ship is original, featuring over 700 intricate wooden sculptures and its original 64 cannons. Exhibits detail the cramped conditions of the 145 sailors and 300 soldiers intended to live on the vessel. Face-to-Face is a poignant exhibit using forensic analysts and skeletal remains found on the wreck to reconstruct the lives of the people who existed on the vessel when it sank. Inside the museum, you'll see the ship, including its hundreds of carved sculptures, and its lower sections all reconstructed. Exhibits on how the Vasa was constructed, life on board, archaeological finds, human remains and reconstructions, and 17th century Sweden. There is a 15-minute film shown daily, and you're also welcome to listen to a free audio guide on your own device. painted in bright colors and with several hundred sculptures. Vasa was a colossal work of art that would make the rest of Europe admire and fear King Gustav II Alfred Adolf, an advertising campaign from 17th century Sweden with an enormous budget. Vasa was not just a warship, it was intended to be a grand display window for Sweden and King Gustav II Adolf. There were over 700 sculptures and decorations on the ship. The splendor aimed at impressing spectators, but also carried a clear message that Rudolf II Adolf was the rightful king and that he had God on his side. From 1990 to 2002, conservator and art historian Peter Tangerberg researched how Vasa had been painted. Approximately 1,200 color samples from the ship were analyzed, and the results were fascinating. Vasa was a very colorful ship when she embarked on her maiden voyage in 1628. The sculptures were painted in numerous strong colors with abundant use of gold leaf. "450 men crowded in less than 600 square meters of living space, sleeping in shifts, eating from communal bowls, disease and ever-present risk, tedium the order of the day, but the food was regular. The duty was clear defined, and unlike in the army, you could come home in the winter." The Vasa Museum has become a natural part of Stockholm's skyline. It masks rising high above Djurgården and has become a beacon guiding curious tourists and Stockholmers alike. Vasa has not always been housed in such splendor. From her salvaging in 1961 until 1988, Vasa's home was a 27-year-long temporary one at the Vasa Moret Museum. Because the ship must be preserved at a constant temperature of between 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, it can be chilly inside. Bringing a sweater is recommended. Explore the Vasa Museum and the Vrak Museum of Wrecks in Stockholm with a combined entry ticket and learn about the dramatic events hidden beneath the surface of the Baltic Sea. Buying the combined ticket is highly recommended if you intend on visiting the Vasa Museum. Get this combo ticket via GetYourGuide. Get the Stockholm GoCity Pass if you plan on visiting museums in Djurgården such as the Vasa Museum, the Viking Museum, Skansen, or Nordiska Museet. There are 1, 2, or 3-day passes for all-inclusive passes, which allows you to fit as many of the listed attractions during your stay duration as you like. Simply buy, scan, and save. It's that simple. Djurgården is visited for its unique combination of world-class museums, expansive nature, and historic royal heritage, all located on a single island just minutes from central Stockholm. It serves both as a green oasis for relaxation and the city's leading cultural district. The island has the highest concentration of popular attractions in Stockholm, many within short walking distances of each other, including the Vasa Museum, Skansen, ABBA the Museum, and Nordiska Museet. Getting to Djurgården is part of the experience. Many visitors choose the Djurgården Ferry, Line 82, from Slussen, or take the historic Tram 7 for a scenic tour of the island. Since 1995, Djurgården has been part of the world's first Royal National City Park, offering a massive patch of nature in an urban setting. In my next vlog, I will be in Oslo.